Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland. Sensie Owl Bob. It's that time of the afternoon when the no-see-ums and the mosquitoes kind of zoom in. But it's been cool, so there's less of them. So anyway, but I want you to think about what you want in your life, because I constantly talk about conscious intent. I consciously speak to love's co-creation. Those two entities are similar in that they are paranormal in dynamic, but they go way further than the paranormal. Because the paranormal is, what is that? It's parallel normal stuff, right? It's just that. But God is something more than paranormal. It's unknowable. It's untimable. It's unphysical, right? And the connective tissue that we have with God's love, that unconditional love, is when we can let go of our thoughts. Our thoughts are not who we are. Our thoughts are just a mirrored image, a shadow. You know, Jung talked about the shadow self. And when you face the shadow self, you realize that it is you, just a different part of you, not bad or good, just like the yin-yang symbol, a circle of life. And there is a little S there, and this side is white, this side is black, and the black there's a white dot, and the white side it's a black dot, and that's life. You know, there's 12 hours of night and 12 hours of day, and with in the night there's the moon, and in the day there's the sun. So if you were to basically base a religious practice on those mechanisms, you would be basically going after an illusion, right? Something that really is not that important. And that is kind of what religion is in essence, right? What are you saying there? Said hi, hey, hi, hey, hi, ho. And how important is that? It's a basically distraction from the conversation at hand. You don't have to say hi because you're there, right? There's 14 of you there. And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with your Sensie Owl Bob here. Being a fashion plate, as I always am, I'm asking you to like this show. Come on, there's 12 of you. Let's have 12 likes. I know you can do it. And subscribe. Let's get some more subscriptions. Let's get up there. And what are you saying? You sure get? Who's there? Oh. Hey, Machine Man, I'm on the show. What do you got to say for yourself?
Oh, hey guys. Nice to be on the show. I love it.
Yeah.
Nothing, just cut the grass. It's a beautiful day. It rained for a little and then it stopped. I waited for it to dry and then cut it.
Oh, that's always
nothing. It's just an amazing day. I wanted everybody to enjoy it.
Yep. It's a nice one here. It's been a nice, cool, and sunny day, and all is well. And we're talking about consciousness and thoughts, and that everything that we think is our thought isn't really who we are.
Absolutely, yeah. That's your meat puppet.
Right, exactly. And it's the illusion of the experience rather than your conscious self observing what's going on and sharing it on the bigger source of unconditional love. And when you when you're in the unconditional love, that's when you can basically attain anything.
Absolutely, and we all are capable, and you could change your life in a moment.
Yep.
And we do, whether it's unconsciously or consciously, we change our lives every moment. And we're able to actually keep control of that, though. It's hard, though. I mean, I'm still practicing, right? You are, too. It's a never-ending process.
Right. That's, when we go beyond that, we leave our body, right? And then we have the next experience, whatever that is.
Exactly. And it's funny you said that because I was just cutting the grass. I was weed whipping the front by the sidewalk, and a neighbor, an unconscious neighbor, drove by, splashed me with a puddle right next to the street. And it wasn't bad, like, it just splashed my leg a little bit. But still, it was a fact. But I didn't get angry. Instead of getting angry, I told myself, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
And I should be thankful that that's all that happened was just a tiny little splash on my leg.
Yeah. It always can be worse.
Right. And it's not. And It wasn't. So I should be thankful.
Yep. And those are moments of realization, epiphanies, right?
Absolutely. Those are the moments that you really need to pay attention to what you're doing and why this happened. And you got to take in the lesson and learn from it.
Yep. That's pretty much it.
And that's why I do always say you need to know your 12 o'clock, your 3 o'clock, your 6.
You're 360,
conscious
you're 360 and you're 20.
And get out of situations.
Yep.
Before things happen.
Yeah, before things happen. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. So how are you, and what are you thinking? What were you talking to the audience about? Exactly.
Well, I'm just watching the world, and it's up until recently, things would happen and there was any real reason or, that's terrible, we need to go to war. 9/11 happens, we got to kill all the Arabs. This happened, we got to do that. But right now, before all of this stuff happens, we're starting to see right in front of us. And that is the beauty of Donnie Chump, the game show host. He's giving us a heads up on everything that goes down. And all his moron chuckleheads who are in his cabinet are, they don't have the ability to put out the illusion. They're constantly just
they want it straight towards that, but no, you can't not put out the illusion. And you can't be part of that.
And these guys are so pitiful that even though they were put there to destroy the United States and the guardrails of behavior and all of that, it's being pretty obvious that it's just like in The Wizard of Oz, where Toto pulls the curtain back and the big head up there on fire goes, "Don't look at that man over in the corner, ignore him," and that's pretty much the guys, pulling the switches,
It is. And that leads to a surveillance state where we're all being watched.
And that's, and we have been, it's been there forever. It's not like just happening today. What's happening is that it's becoming self-evident. I mean, 1984 was written in 48. And that book, he basically put forth exactly what we're going through right now. Because that's what was going on then.
If hasn't watched that or listened to the audiobook or read it,
right?
I would read it. I would listen to the audiobook because it is a good story. It's not just a book you're learning from only. It's actually a good story.
Well, he was a good writer.
Somebody tell you it.
Yes.
That's very nice.
And because he brings forth there, when Winston is talking to his buddy who is in charge of, in the Ministry of Truth, in charge of designing the new language, taking out these adjectives and these nouns to be able to control what people think just by the words, right?
Exactly, bingo.
And when you control the past, the narrative of the past, you manipulate the present and control the future. And that's what's trying to go on, but it's being done in such a, I mean, it's been done forever, right? Since before Jesus. And you read all the guy who, 16th century Jewish theologian Spinoza. Did you ever read any of his stuff? You should.
No, I haven't. That's interesting. 16th century?
16th century. He basically, nice Jewish boy living in, Sweden, and he's in Stockholm. And one of the issues of Jews in Europe is that they always lived in these enclaves, right, where they didn't let anyone in and they didn't really go out, and they insulated themselves, and they had power and money, and they thought that was good enough, and always they got their ass kicked. And if you watch Shakespeare's play, Merchant of Venice, it really, really tells that story. But Spinoza, nice Jewish boy, the smartest guy in the class, and he was at the young age of 21 brought into the inner circle of the rabbis, right? And he comes and reads them a document that he just wrote that night. He was like touched by enlightenment that religion isn't God, right? And he takes it apart scientifically. And there's no way that these guys can, contradict him except to say, that's not in the Torah, right? And he says, no, it is. And he shows them where it is in the Torah. And they totally freak out, and they basically say, okay, you're a smart guy, you can stay here, but you can't tell anyone on the outside about this. We can have little conversations about this, and it might be helpful for us, but you can't say anything about this on the outside, which he goes out and does. And everyone gets really pissed off. So by the age of 23, he is thrown out of his community. He is ostracized by everyone. No one will rent him a house. No one will let him buy food. It doesn't bother him. He kind of, hits the road, walks out of Sweden. They had no internet, so when he goes to another country, people don't understand what he said back there. They just realize, oh, this guy's kind of smart. So he gets jobs, but it always kind of catches up to him. And so he, lives a life of poverty, but his enlightenment, it doesn't really shake his world. I mean, it's uncomfortable, it's, disheartening, but you read his stuff and he just keeps digging deeper and deeper into the meaning of the connection of the consciousness to God. And that's why you should read that one. And really, you go on YouTube and just say Spinoza, 16th century Jewish theologian, and you will get a ton of information where the robot tells you, right? And
oh, nice.
And so you can listen to it, but you have to realize, see, all of this stuff that is being handed to us on the platter of Google, basically, it's amazing, but it makes us stupider.
Of course. Oh my God, yes.
Right. So
because you're basically reading someone else's word.
Right. Or you're not even reading it. It's like being poured into your head, right? So the thing is to use it as a tool, right? And not let yourself be abbreviated by the experience. So that's kind of where we are in this period. We're being shown everything that's behind the curtain, and yet virtually everyone has their own little bias that they use as the bulwark not to be affected by information that's right in front of them.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So,
it's the truth.
Yes, it's right there. It's always been there, and it's does. And so that's why we are... we started out talking about this, and we had about 18 people, and now there's only one. AI is the only one watching.
Bob, so I can't even see your videos anymore.
Why not?
I don't know, the last live one I was on, I never saw one again after I was on your show.
Oh, you know what might have I don't have my laptop anymore, and all my devices are kind of because I'm not on the internet very much. The device is, like 3/4 of its time is spent off the internet, so it's kind of going psychotic. So when I do a show like this one, it doesn't render quickly onto my channel, right? So there's probably
so it's like a couple days.
yes.
Okay.
Right. So it's like 4 or 5 days behind. I probably have 4 or 5 shows that I have to, and then I have to go. And when I start the show, it doesn't let me pick. All I can say is this is not for children, but I have to go back after it's rendered onto my channel, and then make it public.
Okay, yeah, I see it live right now.
Right.
I wanted to see if I could see it. So yeah, I see it live, but yes.
Right. So if we stop this, it will take a day and a half to render, and then I have to go back in and take it from private to public.
Gotcha.
And so if you look at my shows, and the other thing it doesn't allow my face. It just has my logo of the world up here. There's a nice picture of the deep green with chemtrails over them, right?
Right.
That's
what
like
a beautiful set.
Yeah, so that's my logo. And,
that's great.
And so, but normally all those other shows have my face and also has like the name of the show and kinda what it's about, right? But I can't do that because I'm not using my laptop. My laptop is totally fried, and my digital guru lives about 100 miles from me. So I have to. He used to only live about 30 miles from me, but now I have to go all the way down. So.
Okay.
So those are my.
Yeah, but that's fine. I mean, you can still do the show.
I can still do the show, and it takes some time to afterward. I'm done with this. I'm going to, go and look at my channel, and I think there are about 4 or 5 shows I can make public. But so, are you looking at my channel and seeing the shows that you can see? Because the ones you can see has a little logo of the Earth, right? And then above it, go to ones the top 4 probably have a little lock on it.
Yeah, see, your show is weird, so I can't, not your show, but the way it shows up is weird because I can't see, even before this happened, I noticed this happening, I can't see your show. If I click on your channel, it'll just show me shows from years ago.
Right.
And I don't know why. So it's always been like that. But I was able to scroll because you're on my subscribe. I'm subscribed.
Right.
So I could scroll and find your shows no matter what.
Right. Yes, that's another thing, kids, why you should subscribe. If you subscribe, you can see all the shows. If you're not subscribed, it just puts them into the YouTube algorithm just picks out the most watched ones and puts them there, hoping that you'll watch them, and then the advertisers they'll make money on it. So that's basically it. So
that's basically it, right?
You should try and see if you can download my shows and save them on a medium that because I could go disappear. I've had loads of friends who had shows on YouTube and other things, and then when the powers that be didn't like them, they just disappeared.
Yeah, I bet.
And
they're sketchy. They will do that.
Right.
Now Google is. I heard Google is censoring people's videos that they post on YouTube or whatever.
Right.
For just by themselves.
Right. And mine, so few people watch them that I really have never been, I've been slapped on the wrist a few times, but that's all. Nothing is really drastic. And really, so few people watch them that they're not really worrying about it. So.
Right. They don't care.
But the other
You're
side
not
of the
like, yeah.
the other side of the coin is my devices, because they're not on the internet all the time. Every time they are, Google says you need to give me $3 so you can have more part of the cloud. Otherwise, your devices won't work at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you're in a good spot because you have your subscribers, you have your cadre.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. They watch it,
and that's kind of what's important.
Yeah.
Right. Not having a global audience.
Right. Well, no, my audience is global. They're all over the place.
Or I'm sorry, not global. Not having a massive audience.
Right. Massive. Right. It's but a lot of them, all they do is say hi. They don't really go any
deeper.
They
listen. I understand. They're just listening. Like,
yeah,
they don't interact too much. That's okay. But they're there.
Yep, exactly.
There, and I'm sure they enjoy the show.
Yeah, they do. They wouldn't be coming back if they don't. So anyway, that's about it. There's 3 people watching. But the other thing is, I have no idea how many people who are really watching, because when I finish the show, it shows me the statistics, and usually somewhere between 140 and 170 people watch the show live.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I've seen.
Right now,
I've seen that recently.
Yes. Right. Right now, it says 2 people are watching. I mean, I have no idea what any of this shit means.
Yeah. So this is 2 people live, and then probably 160 throughout either the live or after.
Yeah. So I have no idea.
When you post it or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, that's cool. That's perfect.
It's whatever it is. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Right.
You're just trying to get in the algorithm and be in the algorithm.
Right.
Spread loves co-creation.
Yeah, that's right. Spread loves co-creation. That's it. So did you work today, or what's your schedule?
No, I didn't work today. I worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So tomorrow night through Sunday night.
Do they keep you on the night shift all the time, or do they stick you on the day shift?
I used to rotate, and then I got this promotion to the team lead.
Right.
So now I'm on night shift permanently.
So it doesn't matter. As long as your body is allowed to do the same thing all the time, you'll be fine.
Yeah. And it's a struggle. I can't do it forever.
No.
I know I know that I sleep enough for sure, but there are some days where I don't sleep enough. And it's okay, how long could I do this, right? So I know coming to an end. And
so did they give you economic incentive to do the night shift?
Yeah, so I get an extra 10%.
Yeah.
So I got my promotion plus the 10%.
Right.
So it was worth it. I went from $33 to $42.
Right.
So for me, it was perfect.
Right.
I was like, that'll just keep me comfortable in life, and I won't have to worry about much.
As long as you can, take care of your unit there, so it doesn't go wobbly.
For sure. Yeah, I do take more vitamins.
I
take a lot of spirulina and chlorella.
Right. You stay hydrated and all those good things. Yeah.
Yeah, vitamin D I have to take extra.
Right, because you're up during the night, you're not getting too much sunlight.
Right, so I pretty much have to take it at least every other day. I'll take it.
Right.
And that's kind of how I maintain, and I try not to stress. I really don't do as much as I used to on my days off, during the day shift.
Mm-hmm.
But I still manage to get what I need to get done. So.
Yep. You get to mow the lawn.
Nights for a long period of time.
What was that?
Did you ever have to work nights for a long period of time?
Not, because I've always been a contractor, a consultant, so whatever gig I had, it would be no more than a few months, right? I mean, I rewired once a whatchamacallit, a Walmart's, right? And it was bizarre because the Walmart's was only 3 years old. I mean, it was brand spanking new. Everything was perfect. And a friend of mine, who was, a licensed contractor in that neighborhood, he said, Al, I have these other jobs and I gotta be awake during the day, so I can't be there at night. Can you go there and do it at night? And I said, sure, you pay me enough, not a problem. So, he definitely paid me enough. And this is when I was really worse physically than I was in a wheelchair, right? So, you know,
Oh, really?
yeah. So he had, one of those before Uber, the guy's limousine kind of guy would come and get me and, help me in the car and throw my wheelchair in the back. And he'd wheel me into the Walmarts and I would get into one of those electric, carts that you shop with, right? They'd have one all charged up for me. And my job was basically to ride around the floor. And what they were doing was they were replacing the very efficient fluorescent lights with LEDs. And it was one of their first shops that they did the LED thing, right? And
yeah, this was in the early O's.
No, I was in the it was in the early O's. Yep.
Yeah, because I remember them transitioning every big manufacturing shop when I was younger.
Yeah, and it really made no sense other than mind control because fluorescents, once you turn them on, if you keep them on all the time, they hardly use any electricity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's an induction. So once the current, the only time the meter kind of really turns is when you flick them on and it goes from no electricity to electricity. That's when there is a jolt on the meter. And after that, because it's an induction, there isn't any real burning of current. Right? It's just a flow that's there. So anyway, so that was the job, and it was a one of those mega Walmarts, and so we did section by section, and I basically set up a little shop in the back, and I had all the materials always there days before they needed them, right? So that was a big problem. No one had a real idea of what was needed, so they would get there, and then they wouldn't have the material, so they'd sit around and not do anything. So I was very good at making sure all the materials were there. And if there was a problem, like this other contractor had to do this before that, I could switch those guys to another section and have them go do that, right? So we're doing that. And so, we're doing very nicely, and I could nap a little bit. And it was truly amazing because I worked from 9:30 p.m. to 10 a.m., right? And I'd get about $1,000 every time I did. Every day I got $1,000. So, well, this guy was making even more ridiculous money. And the other reason why he couldn't, he needed me is that all of the people who were working on it weren't from that part of Virginia. They came from Minnesota. So they're like. And they are they're not used to working at night, and they're basically, going to a motel and they can't really get any sleep. So they almost were zombieized. And so I had to keep an eye on them so they wouldn't kill themselves. And the other amazing thing, because his store never slept, it was 24/7, by around 2 a.m, that's when the aliens would show up. The flying saucers would land in the parking lot, and the people would come in, and not people but creatures would come in and buy motor oil to drink, and all those good things. So it was quite an interesting job, right? And so we're going along nice, and I'm making some serious cash, and basically one day a tractor trailer shows up and they load off into on the loading dock these big wooden crates, right? And they put them on pallet jacks, and we roll them into where I have things stored, and I kind of put them there. And so I've one of the Walmart guys. I said, "Can you open up one of these crates?" And so he does, and it's a very interesting, like a box. It has a place where the pipe will go into, and where the pipe will go out of, right? And there are terminals, right, that you put the wires in and you tighten them down. But other than that, you don't know what's in the box at all.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's a total.
I think I remember this story. It's a good story. Go on.
Right. So anyway, bottom line is, so I'm going, boy, this is right. There's no doors, there's no panels, there's no screws. It's just a very strange thing. So I'm got 3 or 4 of the Walmart guys, and I had a similar experience like about 15 years before then, underground with a thing that was buried there for thousands of years. And it was very similar, kind of a metal box that had been there like millions of years in this coal seam. And when they were chewing up the coal and that big machine hit this box in the coal seam, it destroyed the machine and didn't even scratch the box.
Wow.
So anyway, and they called, the powers that be called my boss and I from Cornell to come there and see what it was, right? And so we were like the expendable kind of guys, right? And so we went down there, and again, they gave my boss a really big check, and he got a couple of stars on his credentials. Anyway, so we go down there, and at that time, I was 32 maybe. And there are all these guys in space suits and everything, and we're just in bunny suits. We're not in space suits. We have a respirator, a real respirator, not a cloth one, a real respirator. And anyway, so we're looking at this, but nothing that would really protect us if anything was really nasty, right? Not like a spacesuit, right? So anyway, and they had, the thing that we're supposed to investigate is in a clean room, like it's in there, and there's 4 walls and there's 1 glass wall, and all the guys in the suits are on the other side of the glass wall, right? And we're fooling around, and they tried to drill through it and scrape it and, put acid on, all that kind of shit. Nothing touches this box. And I said, guys, do you know how much it weighs? And they go, no. So they have no idea. So what do you mean? You didn't weigh it? You didn't kind of measure it? No, well, we wanted to get inside. Anyway, so that's
like the first.
Yeah, right. What is it really? What is it giving off anything? What's it weigh? Anyway, so they basically get this kind of very nice digital, like they have now in your house. It's very thin. You step on it and the LED thing lights up. It's something like that. And so they kind of lean the box back, and we're trying to slide this thing underneath it, and it gets put on a corner. And the guys who are moving it, they're moving it like it weighs nothing.
Oh.
And so it basically slides off the like, 1.5 inches of the scale, and it just steps itself on 1 corner of one of those, 4 corners, and just on the point of that corner, and then it starts to spin by itself like a top. And everyone, gets back and freaks out and, steps back, and the protecting walls fly off, and there is a glowing, floating light that's like you can't look at.
Really?
Yeah. And it's basically what pops into my head is Pandora's box.
Oh my God.
And
what the 2 of the guys do they panic?
No, these guys are, SEAL 7 team, that nobody panics. The only guys who might be panicking that we couldn't really see were the guys in the suits on the other side of the glass.
Okay.
We couldn't see them. But those guys, no. What we did was we moved slowly towards the door.
Okay. So yeah.
And the door wasn't like a doorknob. We didn't control the door. But they had what is known as a decontamination chamber on the other side. So the door slides open. We go in there. We get sprayed with all kinds of stuff, UV lights, you name it. And then we are taken out individually and decontaminated. And none of us seemed to be harmed or affected by it. And we were kept in isolation for a bit. And no one was vomiting, or the creature didn't break out of our chest, or none of the above, because nothing really happened to us. The thing just went on its little corner. And when it started spinning, that's when we headed for the door, meaning when the box broke open, we weren't inside that room.
Right. Okay.
So we weren't really exposed to nothing that we weren't already exposed to, that lots of other people were already exposed to. You know what I mean? So we didn't get whatever that was. And then, after all of that, they kind of took us up the mine and took us to this thing, and we signed a number of NDAs, and they gave my boss a nice check in an envelope, and we were taken off site and brought to our car, and we drove back to Cornell. And,
okay, nice.
And so, and that's why I had that job, because I could experience things like that. I could, if I hadn't said, hey, do you know how much this thing weighs? If I hadn't been the voice of the common sense, because these guys were all scientists and they were all doing whatever their discipline was. Anyway, so back to Walmart's.
Yeah.
So we take the wooden thing, and it looks just like the friggin' same kind of friggin' box, except it has these little doorways, and above it this little notch where you could put pipe. They were all 3/4-inch knockouts. Anyway, so I'm looking at it, and there is a little booklet with it that says how to use it, and it's basically saying that it is the power supply for the LED lights, right?
Really?
Right, and so that's what it says, right? So I go, every LED light I have fooled around with, either knock the voltage down with a transformer to whatever voltage it's supposed to be, or it runs off of line voltage, right? So anyway, I don't really see the need to have this box, right? So I'm fooling around with it. I have the Walmart guys who handle, and it's like 4 a.m. There are no trucks showing up. Those guys, they're so bored. They do anything I tell them to do. And so, we're fooling around with it. And again, we're moving it around. We're like, walking it, and it gets stuck on something in the floor, and it turns sideways and hits the wall, then hits the floor, and all of the sides of the box that you couldn't open up fell off. And it was lying on its side on the floor. And I look in there, and it wasn't like any solid state stuff that you would think was a switch or voltage regulator or any of that kind of stuff. It was something that was undescribable, right? And it was not your average technology. And basically, it was already working, and there was no power going to it. So it was like, well, this is.
Well, maybe that's Walmart's power supply.
No, what it was. So anyway, I go, okay, guys, let's just leave this thing here and lock the door behind us. We don't need to. And I had the little booklet, and it said, if something goes wrong, call this number. So I did. And somebody answered right away, and they said, you've been fooling around with the box, meaning they were connected to it in some way, right? Either Bluetooth and this was kind of before Bluetooth, but Bluetooth has been around since the 40s. But anyway, they already knew. And they, probably also they said the walls are, you're not supposed to do. It said it right in the book. Just put it in where it needs to be and put the pipe to it and don't fuck with it. Anyway, so they said there will be a team there within the hour.
Oh my God.
And I said, where are they coming from? And they said they'll be there within the hour. So they show up. And so they say, where is it? And and I got clamps on my legs, and I'm in the shopping cart. And I say, come with me. And I open up the door, and they said, it was good protocol that when you screwed with this thing, you just left it alone and locked it up. And I said, buddies, this to me looks like a scalar projector, and that the LED fixtures that we are putting in is basically transmitting things straight into the shoppers' minds to buy stuff. And they kind of looked at each other and said, would you like a job with us?
Oh my God.
And I said, well, it depends on how much you want to pay me. And they said, more money than you've ever made before. I said, And the other question is, how much, do I have to, bend the knee to you guys? And they just looked at me and said, yeah, we don't think you're right. And then again, they made me sign a non-disclosure thing. And so, and I knew that shit was already around. I had seen it. I'd seen it in the 80s. I had a girlfriend who worked on shit like that. And I'd seen it in the 80s. I'd gone to conferences because they let me go with her, because when I was with her, she was more human than when she was alone. So they allow me to be part of the scene. So anyway,
Wow.
Our technology.
That is so wild, Bob. I just had to say that. That is insane. So you said it was scalar waves.
Yes. Projected through our,
shopper's mind to buy things.
Yes, yeah. Or just to control people, period.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, people are going to buy all that shit, whether you have to manipulate them or not. They're going to buy it. They're like addicted to consumption, so they're going to buy it anyway. So, I mean, it was obviously a test bed of some sort.
Okay.
Right. So your big flats. This was before flat screen TVs, right?
Yeah.
But not too far, right? They had them, and they cost a fortune.
Yes.
So my concept of why now you can buy a really nice flat screen TV for like $120.
Oh, heck yeah, you can. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I think, and all of these things, all the appliances that are coming now are like, what do they call it? The Internet of Things.
Yes.
Right. So.
And then I call it the body of things now.
Right.
Technology that can fully control your body, not only control your body, but read everything about it, including your thoughts.
Yeah, and it's like a T-shirt. You put the T-shirt on, and all the devices are in the T-shirt in a microscopic way.
Yep, and you can't even see it.
You can't even see it. Yep. So anyway, yeah. So that's where we are, and again, none of this will affect you if you don't let it affect you. If you say no. And you don't even have to verbalize it, just in your daydreams or your whatever you're thinking about. If you're thinking about how fucked up things are, that's when things are fucked up. When you think about how beautiful life is, and that you are going to be your best, and have conscious intent, I am, and you are in communication with consciousness through love's co-creation, then you're okay.
Yeah, things will work out perfectly.
Right. No matter what the fuck goes on, right? And
exactly.
And because it's so in our face right now, it's pretty obvious that these guys are desperate.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So the thing is
They're
not.
so desperate. They just want their consciousness is just screaming at them, telling them to tell the truth, and they can't. It's going to change.
Yeah.
Everything's going to change now.
But we have to be conscious intent for that. We can't just go along to get along, which a lot of people do.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. So anyway, so I don't have much of my battery left, and so I'm going to say, see you later, kids. I didn't bring my glasses, so I can't read what you guys said. And half the people had a message that they took back, message retracted.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
I'm telling you, man, they impressed our conversations, because the last live I was on with you, I looked at it a few days later.
Yeah.
Or a day later or something.
Yeah.
It said 0 views.
Yeah.
0 views, 0 comments. I was like, what?
Yep.
I was like, I know Bob told me there was a comment of someone saying hi.
Yes. And now there were a bunch of comments. And like I said, about when I, shut down the show, it said 140 people had watched. So if there's 0 views, Anyway, but...
Anyway, enjoy your night, man.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, talk to you soon.
So you are working tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday?
Correct. Yeah.
Do you have Monday off, the holiday?
Yeah, I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off.
Okay, I'll try and touch base with you then.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay, bud. Later. Anyway, so that's Iron Man. He works in a factory he works in a working factory that has pretty much all robots working. So he is the human, and he has a team that keeps the robots working, and he kind of has to work on them while the line is moving. Anyway, so that's what he's doing. So it's always good to hear from you guys. I'm glad you came along with the show. I hope you enjoyed today's show. And I'll say good night. Good night, Gracie. Say good night, Gracie. Gracie, good night.